Committee. Serena Harper.
Good morning.
Tina Dwyer.
Good morning.
Matt Sistrunk.
Good morning.
Eric Bischoff.
Good morning.
Nicole Ramirez. Paula Ornelas. And I'm Ernesto Gamboa. And we have a couple of other committee members that are not here yet or floating around in the back. We also like to start off with a short introductory video on 1 million cups. Yes, it's coming.
Weekly educational program developed by the Kaufman Foundation.
Over the years, we've added more cities. It's a great energy here to see what's happening across the country.
What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable.
Sitting in the room with other people that have ideas too, it helps people believe that, you know what, my idea is worth something. It's worth pursuing. It's worth going after it. Even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.
Okay, so that is 1 million cups. It was started by the Kaufman Foundation as an entrepreneurial showcase, networking, and educational event. Every week we bring in 2 entrepreneurs to tell us their story, their trials, their tribulations, and then more importantly, how we can help them. After their short presentation, you all have 15 minutes to ask them questions. And that's the real value add to the entrepreneurs. Everybody who's presented here says, that's where I've got so much value, where I have people give me ideas, valuable feedback, and even challenge me on my business model, on my assumptions. So don't be afraid to get in the weeds with them during that section of it. By the way, by you being here this morning, you're part of a huge movement. There are over 160 1 million cups communities across the U.S., and El Paso is just one of them. They've been doing this now for 5 years. We've had it in El Paso for 1.5 years. And so the name comes from the idea that one day soon we'll be able to say we've drank as a community 1 million cups of coffee while discussing and promoting entrepreneurship. I think that's really, really cool. So that's 1 million cups and the Kaufman Foundation. We'd like to do a shout out to our sponsors. The delicious coffee that you are enjoying, and I hope you are enjoying it, is by 210 Coffee Roasters. They have 2 retail locations around town. Please do support them, and also, of course, they can provide coffee to your office, to your event. That's awesome coffee. Please support them. Our venue sponsor, where we are right now, the Hub of Human Innovation, and we have a short video on the Hub.
Susanna, and I'm a software developer.
Good coffee is my passion.
I am an energy innovator.
I want to improve your daily view.
My batteries will revolutionize your smile.
I want to make premium coffee accessible.
I am an entrepreneur.
I started with an idea.
My business is ready to launch.
It's hard to know what the next steps are. Here at the Hub, we want to help you start, build, and grow your company. With expert mentors, access to capital, skills development, and professional networks, we give you the tools to succeed. The Hub of Human Innovation, helping entrepreneurs start, build, and grow.
Okay, so that's the Hub. We are a business and technology incubator here in town. We are supported primarily through the City of El Paso and some private donors for the purpose of economic development to help new companies or growing companies, particularly those that have a new product or new technology, to get established, to get started to grow and expand. And so if you or somebody you know of has one of those types of companies or an idea even, please come see us. We can help. I'm obviously biased, but I think we're the best deal in town. Well, other than the Burger King 2 for $4 for sandwiches. But other than that, we're the next best deal in town, so come see us if you have anything like that. Please do download the mobile app. You can download the 1 Million Cups app at 1millioncups.com, actually .com.org, both direct to the same one. And please do check in. Please take out your phones, silence them. Please silence them. Yes, Serena has something in the back?
And checking in on the app is different than checking in on Facebook.
Yes, please do both. I know but please check in on Facebook. We're also doing Instagram and Twitter, Instagram Live in fact, but also on the app. That way Kaufman folks know that we're having a good turnout, that we're having an impact. So please take the time, download the app, and then also check in. Also on the app, it's a very cool feature. You can provide feedback to the presenters even after the fact. So you can do it during or you can do it after the fact. It's a pretty cool feature. So please do that. Please also follow the Hub on our Facebook and our Twitter. There's always extra seats here at the front, so if you want to come and fill it in, that'd be great. Real quick, Admin note on the parking. If you parked in the angled parking in front of the building, make sure you are backed in, otherwise the city of El Paso will come leave you a nice little love note. If you're on the side closest to Durango, you only have an hour, so please do watch the time. We got started a little bit late this morning. If you're on the side closest to this Paisano curve, then you're fine, because that's not limited. I think that's it. With that, we'll bring up our first presenter, Annie's Adventures.
They have my property.
Oh, do you want to go first after all?
Yeah, go.
Okay, sorry. Our first presenter, Vargas Voting Initiatives.
Hello everyone, my name is Vargas. I'm part of a company called Vargas Voting Initiatives. I presented here in the hub before. I was one of the first presenters. And one of the things that we do in the hub, in my business, is a political consulting strategy. A lot of what we do is work with candidates here in the city. I've worked with various now. Notable ones are Schwarzbein, for example. Did a lot for him within that campaign. Other notable is, for example, Update, which is Aaron Powell for the probate court. Basically, what I did for him was a strategy. Helped him with the voting and all that within El Paso. And even within that, we increased the margin of participation in El Paso, which, as a lot of you might be well aware, it's pretty low here. So that's what I'm trying to work on, and what participation did come out within my research, and what I did within my business. It increased in the margin of, it would be 5 in the sense that in the percentage of what participation happened within the campaign. So that was actual increase. It was margin of that increase. And also what social media, I was a social media analyst for Mr. Paul. A lot of participation happened within the social media based on our, on our involvement within the campaign for Mr. Paul. And that increased by 130% involvement and all that. And then, I just want to bring out lessons learned as an entrepreneur, as well as any other folks out there who actually, need that push for entrepreneurship. Basically, what I learned through all this is to keep pushing. There's certain, it's that gut moment, really, honestly, that gut moment of whether it's right or wrong. It's that boldness that you have to take in consideration of pushing within those boundaries. Even as an entrepreneur, a political entrepreneur, you have to take that boldness instead of always trying to calculate, and that's my approach. And I believe that'll help a lot of entrepreneurs take that risk. A lot of times, some people really think, should I do this or not? And that's my story as an entrepreneur. I was in that moment, should I do this or not? And then that's not just a one-time instance. That's actually a continuous instance of risk as an entrepreneur. And I encourage you all to really look at your markets, look at the strategies you have behind it. And if you're in between two, really take that boldness within the one that you think is right in that moment and really push towards that. Other updates is that specialization. I'm basically doing that specialization currently within my markets. Really honing in those skills within the political campaign sphere. A lot of improvement needs to be happening, honestly, and that's reducing the margin of error. I went to a conference at UTEP that they have for voting. They just stress really the importance of really the fraud really that's happening within the voting, and a lot of improvement needs to be happening within that system, and that's a lot with the political campaigns, the data and all that. That's what we do. We try to reduce that margin of error even with corruption within the campaigns. I know many of you were what happened in the 2016 election of all that was happening in there. And that's just basically having these initiatives going on within political campaigns to reduce even those margin of errors within those campaigns. Other things I learned is just a little bit of why I do it. Switching leadership, it's crucial. It's crucial nowadays. A lot of times the leaders need to be switched out in the political process, and that risks corruption too. Sometimes we need new leaders. And when we first started working with Councilman Schwarzbein, I've been hearing a lot of improvements already in the city. That's really a joy for me to hear that Councilman is doing his job, and he fixed one of the areas in my street, for example, making improvements within that street area, and also project initiatives that are coming away within some metro with the policies that are happening within that, and also just doing other projects that I've been hearing, and it's really great to hear about all that. With that said, I'll be taking any questions you guys have within the political consulting or the strategy behind, with the candidates and all that, and even research that's within reducing, that data, margin of error, and corruption, and all that. So, yes.
So with as much social activity that you were able to produce for the campaign and stuff for Powell especially, is there a formula where you equated all that energy into a number of votes? Obviously, there was a double turnout from 8 to about 15% or whatever it was.
The formula was based on analysis of just the voter increase within that 2-month time period. So within that 2-month time period, we had 300 new likes on Facebook. So that's just basic analysis of participation within social media. Not really hard quantifying. I think that's beyond me for right now. But just doing basic calculations and really analyzing, the progression within that campaign, also keeping every improvement in mind.
So what did you learn from the Powell campaign against you for yourself personally?
For myself personally, that risk really is just that keep pushing. A lot of times there are forces against you that you don't know, and you have to really determine whether you want to keep, or sometimes people don't realize the right or wrong decision to make, and really you have to determine that boldness to take steps towards improving the campaign in general. Yes.
You mentioned that specialization is key, and I take it you're a solopreneur, right? So,
excuse me.
are you a solopreneur? Are you a one-man show?
No, I work with others.
Oh, you work with the team.
Yes.
Okay. Well, in any case, you mentioned specialization is key. So, what were you doing before that was more general, and how did you narrow and specialize?
Well, the general was first going into many aspects of the campaign. I think it was just, fundraising and doing various things. Now the specialization is more of, the data and really narrowing that down to each candidate and what each candidate wants to say in their message, and specializing in that sense.
Okay, so specializing in creating a message and then doing like the social media work behind it, or?
No, the strategy.
The strategy.
So basically, building a plan within the candidates. Having that plan within them, and then acting on it afterwards. Yes.
What decision criteria do you use when you're selecting a candidate to support or not to support?
The criterion I use is I want them to make the quality of life of El Paso better. Not really in the sense that they have to be competitive, like aggressive competitive with candidates. This is my view. Sometimes, some people like that aggression. I don't. That's a philosophy I have within my business. I don't do those aggressive, but I look at the candidate. I'm not really Republican or Democrat, to be honest. I really look at the individual and see what the message he's trying to say with El Paso. And even if I don't win, to be honest. I like the message that he says, and I'm all for it, and I want to help him out. And even if people don't realize it now, they could get that message maybe in the future, and have an elected official in that sense in the future. Other things I look at within the candidate is policies, of course. Is he going to improve the areas that he wants within, El Paso? Shorespan is very progressive. He wants things of that nature, but he has been improving a lot of quality of life within El Paso, in my opinion. And, and like Durham Powell, I believed a lot of his message. He wanted, as a judge, a lot of what I believe in a judge should be. So that's just, I really look into the candidate within the message, the person, and his overall, strategy behind the policies within El Paso.
So the criteria are value-based, not dollar-based, or
Yes.
odds of winning?
Yes. Yes.
How many competing political consultants are you meeting there in the marketplace?
That's a very good question. So we have, there's, Leo Marketing is probably one of the competing. I mean, like I said, not aggressive tactics or anything. At least that's not my view. Forma is one. There's, there's probably maybe 5 that I know. Maybe there's others. I mean, that's just what I know. So those are just those competing so far. What I've heard. Yes.
What are your plans for the future? Are you thinking scaling? How would you scale?
Yes, my plan for the future is to have an initiative to, just get that reduction of somehow getting better data, like new initiatives from other folks who have better information regarding the data, and bringing that down to reduce the corruption. I'm not saying everyone's corrupt in El Paso. I'm just saying what I'm trying to say is really try to be true to the campaign process and have hopefully people invest in that in El Paso and have leaders who will actually improve El Paso. That's my goal, to keep continuing with those leaderships, getting people elected and all that.
Do you do a background check on them, or how do you get to know really they're legit?
There is, you get to know all the folks you get to run, because it is public. So you get to go, for example, the elections department, you get to go to other areas downtown where you can get, public information regarding, who are they investing in? Who are the people that are investing in these leaders? Because you got to realize, this goes with me personally, the people they invest in usually are the type of folks that they'll be as a leader too. Yes.
You mentioned that El Paso has a low voting rate, and
Yes.
part of your objective is getting people to vote, right? That's part of the job of running a campaign for a politician, is getting people to vote. And what do you think is one of the most effective strategies? It's actually converting people from not voting to actually voting.
Yeah.
Not
So
necessarily voting for
honestly,
you.
I'm still working on that, man. I'm still working on the various strategies and tactics. It's not like a one solution type deal. In my opinion, to me, El Paso's really takes a lot of strategy and tactics behind it. But what I do want to say is that it has been improving. For example, a lot of the Democrats in this past primaries really ramped up a lot of Democratic participation because Donald Trump was one main reason, and they didn't want someone, I'm not saying that I'm for that or not, it's just one effect on motivation within the voting process of that. So it just depends really on what motivates with the general populace within that city.
And what do you think affects that in our community specifically?
In our community, I think people need to get that push, honestly, is that motivation to participate. And I think the whole process of doing that is building a campaign that excites people. That's what I'm trying to currently work on. With Shorespan, we did a good job in doing that, increasing that. I really took note of what happened within that frame. And, other folks that I've talked to, working on getting that excitement within the campaigns where people can actually, want to get elected officials in that leadership and actually want to improve their city and actually understand, I want that quality of life, I want to better improve my life. And if they get excited to improve their life, man, I think voter participation will happen in El Paso, and that's what I'm trying to work on currently.
What about your age group?
My age group?
Historically, your age group doesn't show up to the polls. What did you learn about motivating your peers?
Yeah, so basically, we have, obviously, there's different, you have to motivate those young peers, not as well as old folks, and not that there's anything bad with that. But within my age group, I mean, you saw the way Bernie Sanders motivated them, so there's just different factors within that.
The importance, I imagine, of El Paso on a state campaign or a national campaign is based on the voter participation, which correlates to your importance in somebody else's eyes as far as if they want to win El Paso, they're going to look for individuals in El Paso, I guess your companies in El Paso to hire.
Yes.
So I would imagine there's a correlation between increasing the voter turnout and having more people call on you. So do you have any strategies as far as that goes to I guess, increase the value of El Paso when it comes to a state or a national campaign?
To increase the value, like, if you're kind of rephrase the last point.
Well, like for example, if I'm running for a state senator or I'm going to look at to see where do I need to focus on, what markets I need for, what's going to bring me the most votes in order for me to win overall. So when I look at those markets, is El Paso important?
Definitely.
Versus Houston or Dallas?
I think El Paso is very important in the whole political process because it is, a lot of people look, and that goes with Republicans and other parties, at El Paso within the Democratic frame. A lot of what El Paso does a lot of initiatives. I heard this from other folks too, and that's initiatives gearing towards other Democrats too. So hopefully that answers your question within a state frame. I know Beto's trying to do a lot for statewide strategies too. He's doing a good job in a lot of senses of doing that, and engaging video conference instead of just formal meetings and such. He's doing a lot of video conferences to be in locations where he can, and other field directors with him, that way they can have more areas to cover within. And I think technology, which is one of the strategies I want to do, is bring that not as a good resource for statewide and national-wide campaigns to do all that. Hopefully that answers your question.
I'm gonna piggyback on that though, because one size does not fit all. And I remember meeting with George W. Bush when he came to El Paso as governor. And what's good for El Paso may not be good for Texas. What's good for Texas may not be good for El Paso. And so the question is, how do you craft a message across those lines?
Yeah, that's the sense that you have to really look into and research. Everyone has a different market. Obviously, that's what I'm trying to learn and currently am learning. Texas, obviously, it doesn't have the same message with every sphere. El Paso, well, you can't learn from El Paso, even though it might not be successful. Because in terms of success, sometimes you learn from failure too, in my opinion.
Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Okay, as always, the last question, what can we, as a community, do to help you?
So, let me learn from you all too. I just keep, I want to dialogue from your entrepreneurial senses, from what you guys have learned in specialization, or if you know folks that want to run, let them talk to me, recommend me, and yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
No, thank you.
All right, thanks. And then we have to take a picture. I'll look at the mug, please, in front of the banners. By the way, Arturo is an alum presenter. It's the second time presenting. It's been about a year. All right, thank you. That's yours. That's yours. That's your party. Okay, now we have some time for some community announcements. By the way, is anybody in here warm? We can turn on the AC, but then whoever speaks, including I'm a big mouth, I can yell. But anybody who has announcements or questions, you're gonna have to speak up to speak over it. So they voted to turn on the AC. So all right, now we have some time for some community announcements. Does anybody have an announcement they would like to share? Nobody? Wow, shocking. I know.
Good morning, everybody. Just to invite you to our networking event tomorrow morning, Thursday morning from 8:30 to 10 at Canitas Querétaro by the fountains. It's a great networking event with 35, 40, 50 people depending. And we have two great speakers. We have Rick Seeberger and we also have Cynthia Horton, professional consultant. Thank you.
Cool, very cool. Okay, anybody else? All right, we have a bunch of announcements as usual. The Hispanic Chamber is continuing their Hablemos del Dinero 2.0 series. That is a whole series of workshops. The next one is May 3rd. Is that today? That's tomorrow. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock at the Hispanic Chamber's offices. If you have any interest in that or any of these, let us know. The Texas Workforce Commission is continuing their business conferences around the state. The one for here in El Paso is also May 4th at the El Paso Marriott. Next, the El Paso SBDC, the Small Business Development Center, which is a great resource if you're not familiar with them. You need to go out there and check them out. They're having their Small Business Management Institute. This is a whole long series of also of workshops on how to learn the basics of running your own small business or just to tune up on stuff. That runs, it's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, runs from May 15th all the way through August 9th. The time is 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Again, Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's a long series. It's a great series, so check that out. Next, the Hub is continuing our legal office hour series. The next one is May 17th. You must register by the Thursday prior. It's always on the third Thursday of the month. Totally free. You get 25 minutes right here at the Hub with an attorney. So please do sign up for that. Next, the SBDC is also having another section on Introduction to Social Media Marketing. That's Thursday, May 17th at 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. The County of El Paso is still promoting their Texas PACE Authority program. If you're interested in upgrading your commercial property with energy or water efficiency and distributed generation technologies, they have a way to help you pay for it through their Property Assessed Clean Energy program. We're going to get breakfast with friends. The Downtown El Paso Insider, please do sign up and follow Downtown El Paso. We here at the Hub are obviously part of the downtown community. And lastly, for all of these events, you can go check them out on Startup Digest, and more importantly, sign up to submit your events on Startup Digest. And with that, we'll give away our gift, which is one of the cool coffee and travel mugs. So let's see here. Larry Chavita with Roto-Rooter. Do you have one, Larry? Do you have one, Larry? So you can either win the mug or you can sign up to present and you'll get one. So, and by the way, I'd like to recognize our alum presenters. That's something that I skip or forget all the time. Show of hands, please, if you're an alum presenter. There's a number of you here in the audience. Just like Arturo today, if it's been at least 6 months that you've presented, you can always come back and re-present and update a new promo, a new thing you're doing, anything like that. And then also, once you've presented, you're part of the 1 Million Cups community. We're trying to build this community here in El Paso. So even if you can't come back or make it, if you have a promo, if you have an event, anything like that, you can send it in to us and we'll still promote it. So again, you're part of our growing 1 Million Cups community here in El Paso. Please do sign in. If you did not sign in on your way in, please do sign in before you leave. Very important. And then with that, I'll bring up our second presenter, Annie's Adventures.
Hi guys. All right. So I am Annie. I have a Facebook and Instagram blog or whatever you want to call it. That's what they kind of categorize me under. But I post to Facebook and Instagram. It's called Annie's Adventures. It's a cheesy photo of me with a red top hat and thumbs ups. so I would really appreciate if you guys would like the page. I promote El Paso and local businesses. I try to get people to get out and enjoy the city and learn about different businesses and events, things that we have here, and get people to get out and do them instead of complaining there's nothing to do here, it's boring. You know, all those naysayers, I try to get them to change their minds and enjoy our city and the surrounding area and what we have to offer. I've been lucky enough to win the best of the best blogger in El Paso the last 5 years running. I'm hoping for number 6, the voting just ended Sunday. So I do have a really good following. I have over 10,000 people that follow me. They're all interested in going local and promoting local and enjoying what we have in and around the city. I do go on vacation, so I take everyone with me. Kind of like an Angie's List. I find you good deals, I find you restaurants, if you need to go, you know, you're looking to go hiking, camping, something for your kids, summer camps, date night, plan an anniversary, do your taxes, fix your shoes, whatever it is, ask me, and I'll send you someplace awesome, but local. So, again, I try to highlight local businesses as much as possible. We're El Paso. So I'd rather send people to support our local businesses and putting food on everybody's table instead of the big box, personally. I think we have cooler stuff locally. You know, you can find awesome swag here in El Paso at Cheap the Relic. We have amazing food here. We have so many great things coming into the city, but it's up to us to take advantage, so we keep bringing in new things. I know people were complaining about the Chihuahuas baseball team and the name and stuff, but now everybody knows them, right? And it's doing amazing things for us. So that's all I try to do, bring awareness to different events and businesses. I don't just tell you, there's lots of different pages you can go to where they're going to tell you what's going on. I will tell you what's going on, but I'm also going to show you. So I do post at the restaurants, I show you the menus, I go to an event, I go to the Bacon Fest, I show you what you can get there, what you can eat there, what you can buy at this store. So it's a little bit more in depth. If you guys are ever again looking for anything specific, people always message me and then I'll guide them. I already offered these gentlemen back there, I'll give you a list of food, you guys go through the list, tell me again, I'll give you a new list of restaurants. We have amazing food here. Let's see here, I also do personal shopping, so if anybody's ever looking for an antique euro or an earring, I used to be the jewelry manager at El Paso Saddle Blanket. But if I don't know you from Annie's Adventures or Marketing, I'd probably see you there. But, you know, no matter what it is, I can help you find it. I'm already out and about anyway, so let me help you. I try to show people how important social media is for your business. Content is king. So by seeing how I'm marketing your business, I try to encourage you in different ways to market your own business. If anybody ever has any events, I always encourage you to send me your event flyers and I'll be happy to share them with the public and try to send more people to you. And you know, I just want to promote El Paso and get all the naysayers out of here. That time's long gone. We're better than that now. We have so much to offer. We have Vargas next door. Any direction you drive, within an hour, you can be someplace amazing. You want water, you want to go to a waterfall, you can go to City Falls. Have you ever heard of that place? Yeah? Not many people have heard about it. It's beautiful. You can drive to it, you can hike to it. And so one of my favorite trips to do is go to Guadalupe Canyon, camp for the night, wake up, do a quick hike, then go to McKittrick Canyon, which is a mile down the road, and just like throw down there because that place is amazing. Go back and hike at, or camp at Guadalupe Canyon, just to camp at McKittrick Canyon, and then drive down the road. It's in between McKittrick Canyon and Carlsbad, where you turn off to go to City Falls. And it's a beautiful place. But again, no matter what you're looking for, we have it. And that's basically Annie's Adventures in a nutshell. It's like Angie's List for El Paso. Yes?
Do you have a Twitter presence?
You know, I don't really. So my day job, Annie's Adventures is just more of a hobby. I do offer visits and invites of the week to promote businesses, but it's more of a hobby. So I do Leo marketing. I work at Leo Marketing. I don't have a Twitter presence just because it's not that popular here in El Paso. More what we do here is Facebook and Instagram, so that I'm all over that. Instagram is mostly my food. I don't cook, so I eat out every day. So again, if you're looking for a certain type of food or whatever it is, ask me and I'll help you out.
So your 10,000 followers, are those on Instagram or Facebook or a combination?
Facebook, it's 10,600 and something, and on Instagram, it's over 2,000. I started that late, so I kind of got late to be on Instagram. But I went there because that's, you know, you have to go where the direction is pushing.
How long did it take you to get to 10,000, whatever your number is? I mean, was it hard at first? You know, was it, I mean, I know of your history, so, I mean, it didn't all come pouring in right away.
So I started this in December, about 5 years ago. And back then, Facebook's algorithm was a lot better. Facebook is constantly changing. Now, your organic reach for if you do a post without any money behind it is 2% at random, right? So when people are like, oh, I don't want to post every day because I don't want to irritate my customers. Don't worry about that. Don't think like that. Nobody's seeing your stuff anyways. You don't know who's seeing what, so post every day. It's helping your back end SEO. But, you know, it was from like 50% to 20%, 16%. Now it's 2% organic reach. So it's slowly, you know, trickling in now. Again, it's just a hobby for me, so I don't really make too much money on it. If I did, like, you know, EP11 or Visit El Paso, they make revenue, so they can advertise on Facebook like it should. If I was able to do that, my audience would be incredibly, a lot larger than it is now. But marketing on social media is how you're going to build your audience, and it's how you're going to get new clients.
I've been wanting to talk to you about this for a while. Because we've had a few conversations over the past year, very brief, but before I go into this, you don't have like an actual like physical content management blog, or you don't have like a website, it's just social network, correct?
Right. So
and the reason I ask is because I feel like El Paso has like a lot of little things that like help people understand what to do for the locals or for people coming here. But like, for example, my mother, who travels a lot, who would come here, found it very difficult to figure out how to get around, how to find things. And I feel like you could make more revenue if you had existing content that the search engines could generate in Google and stuff when people are searching for things in El Paso. And so I'm curious why you don't actually have like a physical blog, like a website.
Sure. So I do have a website. It's called Annie'sAdventuresMP.com. I used to be a content provider for El Paso Carol Post when they first opened, so I have some blog posts there. Again, this is just what I do for a hobby. I am a full-time marketing girl, sales, you know, woo, but I don't always have time for that, you know what I mean, to write blogs and stuff like that. I do have Annie'sAdventuresMP.com, and I have a Things to Do page, and if you go to that Things to Do page, it's just like one batch is just naming like places you can go on a hike, or different restaurants to check out, or like I just added a new section where it's like the weekly meal deals. So Monday night you can go find a $5 burger here, Tuesday night you can find tacos here, you can find a $5 burger here on Wednesday. So I have that, but you're right, you know, if I did have time to do the blog on a more regular basis, absolutely, I just don't have the time.
So I hear a lot of people talking about rebranding our community. I hear a lot of people talking about building maps that are helping people enjoy our community. There's this consensus that El Paso's lame, that it's no fun, but you know, if you go to most of America is pretty bland, it's pretty boring. Like, you know, unless you're like in a big city and you have a lot of money. And so I can't think of anything like online personally after living here for a period of time that really helps me figure that out.
Like one place to go to and figure it out. I completely understand you. You know, all I can say to that is follow Annie's Adventures, because you won't be bored anymore. And tell your mom to follow Annie's Adventures. All your like out-of-towners, all the people who move here, military, send them my way. I post daily, so it's all different stuff. And again, if you're looking for something specific, people message me and tell me, hey, I got, you know, my husband's coming back in from overseas, and I really want to plan a romantic evening, and I help them plan that, or I've helped people plan engagements and stuff like that. You know, certain areas, I'm looking for this. So, I mean, unfortunately, I wish I could do it all. I just can't do it all.
Yeah.
Not me.
How did you get started in this?
So I used to work at El Paso Inc. and What's Up Weekly. I moved back in 2006. went to the paper. I got this, I asked to do photography. I used to do drug documentaries on the drug war in 2008. And I had the pleasure of being the photographer when Steven Seagal got sworn in Sierra Blanca. So I got this crazy job interview or opportunity to be his personal assistant, and so I took it and I went with him to film a movie. I said, "You're nuts." I came back home, I packed everything up, and I moved to Louisiana. Okay? Yeah, I was like, let me try something else. I was only supposed to be here 3 years. This was back in like 2010. So yeah, I moved from Austin, came here 3 years max, and then I'm gone, stayed here longer, just that's the way it goes. And then I took off, right? I figured, let me go see what I can do here. I could not find it. El Paso's so easy. The price of living, I'm like, I have a house. Like, that was not on my plan. I didn't know I was gonna buy a house, but I have a house. Because it was the same price as my rent for a crappy little apartment. So I can have a house here, and I can travel all over the world. I just went to Ireland last month, something everybody can do. It was $1,200 per person, and that came with round trip flight. It came with all my bed and breakfasts in hotels, starting hotel, ending resort, the car rental, and all the excursions. So $1,200 per person. So that's what I bring to you. I'm gonna show you how to do that, how to be a baller on a budget. That's how I roll. So, you know.
Is that copyrighted? Baller on a budget?
So I have a couple of hashtags. I have El Paso's Ambassador Fund, and I have Baller on a Budget. March is my official Baller on a Budget month. I did skip it this month, or this year, but previously I've always had Baller on a Budget month, so that month, all of March, I show you different ways to save money and how to be cheap, but still go out and enjoy what we have to offer here. Like I was just at the Botanical Gardens the other day, or the Rose Gardens. You guys know that stuff is like, it's free to get into. That's a $2 donation, you know? We have beautiful things here. But I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought with that. All over the place.
Would it be like a business that you would like to do?
Sure. So again, I do invites of the week and I do visits. My invites of the week is going to be a larger post. It's going to be all the information you want me to share in my write-up. Okay. So if you're a restaurant, it's $35 plus a small sample, so I can write legitimately about what you have to offer. If you do not have food or anything that I have to sample, it's just we go in and I would love to do a live feed video with you because live feed videos get the highest response. Organically, they're the highest interaction. And I work with that post throughout the week to get more eyes on it. Okay, so that's $35. A visit is $25, and I don't do as much as I do for the invite of the week, but you can get featured on the page. And you just reach out to me, we set it up. It's that easy.
You've talked about posting a lot. I read and hear different things on how much you should post on. So you said every day on Facebook, but how many posts? 1 post, 2 posts? Is there a limit? More is better? I read and hear all different kinds of things.
So, it just depends on your content. Content is king, okay? And you have to provide content that people want to pay attention to. For example, we have a lawyer, a bankruptcy lawyer at Leo Marketing, and we do their social media. Well, how many people are going to like that bankruptcy post? Like, oh man, I've been thinking about this for a while. Let me like it because that's something I need to do. Not many people are going to do that. So we do something to create more interacting. We do a true and false. We brand them as the experts. You need to brand yourself as the expert in your field and post as much information about that as you can on your page. But at the same time, do not bring in blogs from someone else's website. Bring in a blog from your own website. You always want to bring that back to you. Does that make sense? You don't want to send them away. You want to bring them back to you. People come back to you. Because you're the expert in what you do. So when I finally need your service, I remember if you posted something, I need a reference now. You go and ask me about this. So again, I post anywhere from 1 to 5 or more times a day. But my content is different than yours. Everybody's different. Everybody's business is different. You know what I mean? You just have to play with it and see what works best for you.
Do you boost a lot?
I don't boost at all.
You don't?
No. What I do is sponsored posts. Okay? Boost is going to go out to most of my current likes, and my goal is to constantly get new likes. That's my goal. I need new people seeing my stuff all the time. So sponsored posts gets me the new likes, and it goes out to my current people as well. Boost
so what's the difference?
Boost post, I can set up on my phone real quick, $5, $10. quick increments, that's great. Small targeting, that's going out to most of my current likes. Sponsored posts, I set it up on the desktop, okay? I'm not gonna lie, I don't set up my sponsored posts. I work in marketing, and Helica, the girl, the wizard behind the curtain, she takes care of all that. She sets it up. She does all the demographics and everything. But I'm able to get more targeting. I can be very specific in my targeting. On Facebook, there's no other form of marketing where I can be as targeted and as inexpensive as Facebook. So I can be very specific. I can target my competitors' pages. I can target income level, zip code, age demographic, whatever I want. And that's going to go out to new people. My current friends are still going to see it, but new people primarily are going to see it. So sponsored posts is the way to go. But I mean, I've helped all kinds of businesses. Food really gets a good response on my page. People just eat here in El Paso. But I went to Vitania a couple weeks ago, and that video is still circulating. I'm still getting likes on it. And they're amazing if you haven't heard about them. They're doing like stuff. But realtors, I've done all kinds of videos, and you know, like I recommend the live feed is do them as much as you can. That's the best form of posting you can.
Any other questions? Yes.
Your favorite cheeseburger?
My favorite cheeseburger is at Orange Cow.
Where?
Don't tell Chuku Burger I said that. Or you will get mad.
Where?
I love Orange Cow. It's on Wrestler. It was a food truck, now it's a restaurant. But don't tell Chuku Burger I said that. Chuku Burger is the second.
No, you're being recorded.
Silly question. How short is student school?
Oh man. You know, he's not short. I'm short. Everyone's taller than me. He's like here. Yeah, no, it's not true.
Any other questions? Going once? Okay, as always, what can we as a community do to help you?
Send me all your naysayers and go to my pages and like them and tell people about me. Anybody who's talking crap about the city, send them my way. I'm going to help them change their negative perspective. I'm going to get them to enjoy this place, bring new people into the city. That's what I need from you for Annie's Adventures is just follow me and send people my way and utilize me, because once you guys stop utilizing me, I have no purpose to do this anymore.
By the way, did everybody see what her t-shirt says? You want to tell me what your t-shirt says?
I like El Paso before it was cool.
Yeah. So where did you get that?
So I get all my swag, El Paso swag from Chuco Relic. They have a location down here at the Art Hub, or the Modern Art Space, and then they also have their store at Montecillo across from the Alamo Draft House. But there's also a cool other shop, Shop El Paso. I forget the name of it, but it's in the Cortez building, and they have another line of shirts because this is Chuco Relic's line. But the Cortez one, I forget the name of the company that makes the shirts, but they're super cool El Paso shirts. And they're very similar shops. They have a lot of, you know, your El Paso swag, your stickers, your music, whatever it is you're looking for.
All right, thank you.
Awesome, thank you guys. And please follow me. It's a cheesy photo of me in a red top hat with thumbs up. Appreciate it.
Okay, well that's our program for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please, again, do sign in. If you did not sign in on the way out, please like and follow us. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, both 1 Million Cups and the Hub. I see some of you presenters out there that haven't presented yet or love that need to come back. Sign up to present. Come back and see us next week and bring a friend. Thank you. And you are?